Hey everybody, welcome into the Red Earth makeshift studios here. We got a couple of coaches, a little bit of snow is falling, so I decided, we're just going to stay at home and talk to these two great coaches. Guys, I got Eric Gough from Fort Zumwalt West and Time Canavan from Smet, first year at Smet. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Appreciate you having us. It's always fun to talk baseball.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, everybody remember Game 7 Baseball. YBMcast powered by Game 7 Baseball. Get your team registered, game7baseball.com. A lot of great tournaments still going on. Make sure you get in there. Dave and Dave will take care of you. All right, guys, let's get started. Let's take a look at these two teams. Coach, I want to say just on the outset, Coach Gough, congratulations. A very good run. I know it's not the finish you wanted, but heck of a run, heck of a team last year. Congrats.
Well, thank you. That was a special group of guys, without a doubt. They hands down were the most selfless group of individuals that I've ever coached. They never once were worried about their playing time or their individual stats. All they wanted to do was go out and compete and win, and they didn't care. They didn't care about their own individual success, and that was a special group of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and it was just a blast to coach them, and it was a great ride. So it's a season I'll never forget.
It was a lot of fun. Coach Canavan, first year at Smet. Looking forward to it?
Absolutely. To me, Smet's one of those iconic baseball programs in the area. I'm very excited to take the reins, to compete in the MCC. They're playing some of the bigger tournaments they have access to, like the Midwest Classic. Just really excited to get going.
You're not that far, Smet's not that far removed, 2019 state champs, so, a couple of programs right at the top still. Let's get into a little bit of this, okay? Coach Gough, your thoughts. As you said, you had a ton of seniors last year.
Oh,
you got some kids coming back.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on the season coming up?
Well, we're excited as always, and I think, anytime you talk to a coach this time of year, they're going to tell you where their shortcomings are and where their concerns are. Of course, one of our big concerns is we lost so much senior leadership. We had 12 seniors on that team, and we lost just quite possibly our 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe even 5 pitchers. We're only returning 45 innings on the mound. When you play 40 games, that's not a lot to come back to a ball club. So obviously we got Daniel Whistler, who's a Mizzou commit, headed to Mizzou to be a pitcher there. He's going to be the guy that we turn to kind of lead us on the mound and really fill the role of being probably the number one guy. But we got a bunch of other seniors that are looking to step up with that expanded opportunity. With we got Dylan Bates threw some innings for us last year. Hayden Wilson, Braden Salter were guys that filled in with some others, and then we got some juniors that we expect to come in and compete right away. With Cooper Robertson, got a few innings for the varsity last year, and another nice lefties committed to Evansville. Kenton Deverman is a junior who was just absolutely dominant on the JV level last year, but with the senior horses we had, we just let them eat the JV level. So all those guys are chomping at the bit for their opportunities, as well as other guys that are going to be in the mix, and excited for the opportunity. So it'll be fun to let those guys go compete, and we know that they're going to fill the zone up and give us a chance to win. So that's what we're looking forward to.
You got a little ahead of me, Coach, on the players, so we're going to have to come back to some guys you didn't name.
Oh, sure, absolutely. You said expand whenever.
That's okay.
So,
no worries. I love that because there are some names. Those are some names. I like Cooper Robertson, Kenton Deverman. I think those are a couple kids to watch there. Coach, your thoughts. You coming into the program. I mean, you lost a lot of seniors over there at Smet. Where do you see yourself, and how are you starting that program in this new era?
Well, we return a lot on the mound. I think 3 of the top 4 guys, innings-wise, from last year come back. And then 6 position players, and a lot of those guys are inexperienced. So we've just been spending a lot of time getting to know one another, me getting to know them getting to know me, take advantage of these new Misha rules that allow us a little more flexibility in our off-season workouts. Just working hard and as Coach Gough alluded to, we've got some kids that are excited to get going because they didn't play probably as much as they wanted to last year. And so they're just anxious and hungry to prove what they can do.
Just real quick to follow up on that, Coach Gough has been at West now a little while. He's got that program really kind of turning every year in, year out. They're competing. How are you taking that step? I mean, DeSmet's got tradition, whatnot. How are you building on that culture there?
Sure. It's one of the things that I've identified as something that I need to work on is I think I'm okay running a team from year to year, but really building a program. And so I don't mind emailing Coach Gough from time to time and asking him how he does things. Coach Perkins from time to time asking how he does things. I'll be perfectly honest, Coach. I was going through your Twitter a couple weeks ago because I was looking for how you structured your bullpens during tryouts, and I scrolled all the way through back to last year because I knew you did such a good job with it. So lean heavily on people that have been there and done that, and hopefully I can learn some things along the way.
I love that. Coach, that's got to make you feel good about your program and where it's going. Talk a little bit about that. As Coach alluded to, you have taken a lot of time and you've kind of picked the brains of other coaches moving forward here as well, correct?
Oh, without a doubt. I'm first and foremost, I'm the leader of the K squad, which is copy and steal everything. So, if you see somebody who's having success or doing something that you like, no matter what that is in life, you see somebody doing something the right way and that's where you want to be, well, then you need to do things like they're doing it. And so it's, lots of years going down to the coaches clinic up in Jeff City and just getting ideas from different coaches across the state and then college level coaches and all that. And you take bits and pieces and bring them home and try to incorporate in your own program. And quite frankly, it's something that we talk about with our kids is you got to embrace failure, especially in the game of baseball, because you're going to fail so much. And that's honestly, failure is a part of our culture that we encourage kids to try new things and go out on a limb and when they do screw up, we take those as teachable moments and they're not necessarily negatives. It's, those are things we're going to learn from, we're going to grow, we're going to get better. And that's really the culture we try to embrace is, we kind of try to put our philosophy offensively and defensively, and we get kids to buy in kind of our offensive system, defensive system, and the philosophy that we're trying to incorporate. And then we turn them free and say, go be a baseball player and make plays. And, if they get thrown out trying to take an extra bag or if they make a mistake or throw to a wrong base or those kind of things, we just take those as teachable moments and say, instead of jumping down a kid and really focusing on the negative, just say, hey, what did you see there? Why did you do that? And well, here's what we saw. Maybe this would work out better. So we try to focus on the positives, and we really embrace failure, and we work on picking each other up and being great teammates and being a great teammate to yourself when things don't go your way, because that's just something that's going to happen in baseball consistently. So I think there's great life lessons to come out of that for kids as they move on and get out of high school.
Let's come back here, Tim. Coach kind of alluded to some kids, and we'll come back to you here, Coach Gough, in just a second on some other players. But you did have a lot of seniors leave this last year, Coach Canavan. So, and there are some names I was looking here. You got Michael Bryan, pitcher, Joshua Cunningham, Sam Cardwell. Are those 3 names you're looking at there? And is there anybody I'm missing coming back like on the mound there that you're looking at?
Sure. So Sam is 2023. He's a right-handed pitcher. He led the team in innings last year. I think he was second in ERA. I expect big things from him this year. He's a very talented kid. He's a very competitive kid, and that might be his strongest quality. We have a senior named Nick Panagas. He's a right-handed pitcher. I think he threw about 15 or 18 innings last year. He's a Drury commit. Pretty good hammer, so I expect good things from him as well. And then, as you said, Michael Bryan's a lefty. He's committed to St. Charles. I haven't seen a lot of him yet, but I know he's been working hard with his pitching program, and so I'm excited to see him on the mound. And then, as you said, Josh Cunningham's had a great offseason. I've seen and heard some really good things about him. And Jason Smith is a 6'4" righty, plays for the Prospects. I've heard some really good things about him and seen some good video on him as well. So I think those 5 guys, I'm really looking forward to them leading our staff this year.
Where are you going offensively? Pitching is always pitching and defense, but offensively, scoring runs, whatnot. It was a little bare last year, wasn't it?
It was. And I think a lot of that is due to how great the pitching is, both in the conference and just in the St. Louis area in general. But yeah, the offensive numbers were down a little bit. I do feel like we have some strong offensive players, but I think they're going to have to buy into an approach and a philosophy where we're going to have a great approach. We're going to have to play high pressure baseball and force teams into making mistakes.
That's tough. When you're looking at those things, Coach Gough, I love the fact, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, because defensively, it's always that structure, right? Catcher, middle, center field. You really want to be strong in that place. Coach, you got Ryan Olm coming back, and I know Robertson catches as well, correct?
Yep, sure. Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're pretty stacked there.
Well, we got a lot of guys
stacked there,
back there. Yeah, we got some guys on the feet. Cooper is a guy who can catch, but he's been more of an infielder guy as of late. Ryan's a guy he's committed to Quincy and looking to put his grapple on that starting job. And then got a kid, Connor Stein, played left field for us. He grew up as a catcher, and he's just an absolute dirtbag behind the plate. Great blocker, really good receiver. And obviously started for us out there in the outfield last year because we had just a dynamite catcher in Harrison Burke last year. And then got another junior coming in, Colin Griner, who's just a absolutely competitive son buck as well. So we got a lot of guys that are going to compete really hard back there for that job, and that's going to be fun to watch those guys get after it.
And you're middle, and of course you got Whistler when he's not pitching. He played center field for you last year, and he hit. He was 363, 411, 911 was his slashes. So you've got this dynamite lefty on the mound and a kid that can rake and cover the field for you out there. Where are you at in the middle of your infield, Coach?
Well, we got a lot of question marks there, which is, every coach has question marks going into the season. We're going to have a lot of guys, again, competing for that. It could be we got some guys returning. Cameron Hart was a guy that was a backup guy last year. He's looking to get in there. We got a couple younger guys. Peyton Krause is a guy that we're looking maybe can get in there. Connor Stein's a guy that we got to find out where he's going to fit as far as where he fits on the field, because he started in the left last year. He can play some middle infield. He can catch. He's kind of a guy you can just insert plug and play and see where he fits. You got Dylan Bates was a first baseman last year, but he was a JV shortstop. Cooper Robertson, you mentioned there, is a guy that could slide over. And I'm sure in all that I'm missing some guys that'll be in the mix and challenge for those jobs. So that's one of those. We're looking forward to seeing who steps up and takes that leadership spot. So
that competition, that can only breed success, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. When guys go about it the right way and really get after it in a positive way, and they're not rooting for the guy next to them to fail, but they're working on their own success, which is very much the culture we had last year, and we just looking to continue that and get guys to buy into that. When the guy next to you succeeds, that's a success for you. So it's about challenging each other and pushing each other to be as good as they possibly can be and be a great teammate whenever whenever Coach Gough writes the lineup out, because that's something our guys bought into last year is, one of the things we do early in the season with our guys is we tell them, hey, Tuesday, Wednesday are conference days, and we challenge our guys to, hey, you play the coach, put on the hat. You write out your Tuesday lineup and your Wednesday lineup, and you rank our pitchers. We'll have a staff of 12, 14, 15 guys, and I'll say, rank our pitchers 1 through 15. And I'll tell them, I guarantee you left somebody out of that starting lineup that deserves to be a starter. And whoever you wrote down as your 8th best pitcher, dang it, fellas, he's a pretty good pitcher, and he might only throw 8 or 10 innings this year. So when your name's not in the lineup, you have to understand it's not a personal decision because we don't like you or you're not going about it the right way. It's just simply there's only 9 guys that we can put in the lineup, and unfortunately somebody's got to be left out. And last year we had a bunch of guys that really bought into that and loved each other, and we're just going to try to keep that going and looking forward to guys competing the same way this year.
Coach Canavan, same thought process. I don't know as many names. How are you looking at that strength from the catcher up through the middle to center field? You got a lot of competition there, or you got guys that you're looking at that can fill those roles?
We returned 2 guys on the left side of the infield that can pick it pretty well, and Liam Risley at short and Cooper Howell at third. Those guys are well above average defensively. And there'll be some other guys in the mix, but I expect those 2 to be in there somewhere just because I place a premium on defense, as I'm sure Coach Gough does, and those guys are pretty good. In the outfield, we return 3 guys. I think there's a junior named Luke Burns who might be the most athletic, so he might be in center field. But there's another guy named Jason Tepe who's very sound fundamentally, who might find himself there as well as a Heartland commit named Darian Crisp. He's very athletic, very toolsy, patrol center field as well. So
it's looking who can track the ball the best on either side of that, right?
Yeah, and who can avoid giving the other team extra bases, right? Give them what they earn, but nothing more. So catch the balls that are hit at you, hit the cutoff man, and try not to let them do any more damage.
There you go. Gentlemen, both of you are playing, no offense to the MCC. There's some good teams, but we were talking today up and down the GAC South. Good luck, Coach Gough. That's all I can say, bud.
Oh. You're kidding. If you're good enough to win the GAC South, you're good enough to win the state title, and that's kind of the way it is every year. We figure whoever wins the GAC South, whoever's in the top of the class in the GAC South, you're good enough to go to the Final Four and win it all. It's just the way it is year in and year out, and this year's no exception, especially with the arms that we got in the South Division. So it's going to be a lot of low-scoring ball games and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think, and we're talking about this, and that went to something I said to Coach Canavan. That's the tough thing. I think the runs are going to be the premium in the South. Who's going to be able to scratch those runs, manufacture those runs, get guys over? Because, Timberland, you're looking at Hatchman, and then you got Yarberry. Good luck with both those guys. You hope they just have a bad day. And, and that's no offense to Whistler or Kenton Deverman or Dylan Bates either. It's the same side. Sure. They're facing the same thing. So that's Absolutely. The thing, at Hal, he's got, Norfleet could be that if he comes back healthy and right, my goodness, what are you going to do there? You got the guys down. I think Troy has got some good arms.
Troy's got a couple of guys that are high velo guys now. So you got Kate Noddy and Ethan Edinger.
Yes, yeah. And you got, Lane Harris, if he gets back healthy at Central. Yep. They've got a couple kids behind him that, goodness, Holt has a couple of good arms as well. So up and down pitching in your conference is there. It's a matter of scoring runs, isn't it?
And we're just going to try to score 3. We figure if you score 3 runs on the Tuesday or Wednesday, you're going to have a chance to win. So we're gonna try to fill up the zone, play some defense, and grind out some great at bats, and find a way to scratch a few runs across, because that's all anybody's going to be doing in the GAC South this year. So it's like Coach Canavan mentioned it earlier, playing some high pressure baseball, and you know you're going to have to pick up some bunts and throw some guys out, and you're going to have to compete in the first and thirds, offensively and defensively. You're going to have to handle base runners and all those kind of things. So it's going to be some good baseball.
If you've never seen
MCC, go ahead, Coach.
I was just going to say, if you've never seen Coach Gough's first and third offense, it's very good. Unless you're on the other side of the field, then it's very scary.
Well, we have some fun, so we're not afraid to make mistakes, and occasionally we do. So
I think that goes to it, right? Got to have it's kind of just, here it is. We either execute or we don't. I always said it's kind of a Justin can do this, but I believe this is true. Either you execute or you will be executed.
yeah.
I know that's kind of graphic, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to be so kind of brutal, I guess, but it's just a fact. It's the best way I can put it, So, Coach, the MCC, your first year there, correct?
Yes, sir.
CBC. As stacked as anybody in the state. Good luck with that. Then I don't know. I guess it's what, Chaminade, right? St. John's Vianney. Who else is in that conference? I'm sorry.
And St. Louis University High. So SLU, Chaminade, Vianney, CBC. Yes.
Okay.
So, as you said, CBC's loaded, and they're coming off is it a quarterfinal or a Final Four appearance?
Yes.
Vianney actually won the conference last year, so they were fantastic as well. SLU and Chaminade both have some big arms that I'm aware of that are coming back. So I don't know the particulars of their rosters other than some of the big names on each of them. I just know we're going to have our hands full every Tuesday and Thursday.
So your conference games are Tuesdays, Thursdays?
Yes, sir.
It's good to know. I need to remember that and catch up a game. How do you see yourself stacking up in that conference, Coach?
I think most days it's going to be a flip of the coin. I think the talent level is very good across the board, and it's just going to be who throws strikes, who handles the baseball, who gets the bunts down, who gets the big hit. As talented as some of those teams are, baseball is a great game, and that the most talented team doesn't always win. It's the team that plays better. So I think if you're disciplined and organized and you're hard-nosed and you're tough, you got a chance.
I love that thought process. You guys both know that. I think that's baseball. You can be better on paper and get beat, right?
Absolutely. I've
for sure.
Lost my fair share of games where I thought we were more talented and we should have won, and we just got handled very easily because the other team played a better game, played a cleaner brand of baseball.
And I think that's baseball, isn't it? That's the tough thing, on a day in, day out basis. I think that's why teams don't go undefeated. It's my opinion.
Oh, for sure. It's baseball is a very humbling game. You can be rolling and the offense is clicking and the pitchers are throwing strikes, and then one day you come out and you kick a couple balls, you don't fill up the zone, and even when you barrel a couple up, they find some gloves and you get your butt kicked and you just scratch your head and say, "Fellas, see you tomorrow. Let's do it again tomorrow." And try. Hopefully that just doesn't happen in mid to late May.
Right. Final thoughts here, guys, on this. The state itself, Missouri looks really good. The west side or the west coast of the state, you got Liberty North, Staley, still there. Raymore, Peculiar, whatnot down south. Kickapoo should be good again. The state itself has some really good baseball in the middle of the state. I don't think Jefferson City might be as good, but you got those Columbia teams around there. What do you see in the state here? And Coach Gough, go ahead.
Oh, dogfight like it always is. You just rattled off. We talked about the St. Louis area with some of the best teams in St. Louis, but you rattled off the kind of the big teams to watch out of Kansas City, Springfield, mid-Missouri. Hickman and Rockridge are good. Heard Nix has got an arm or two down there as well in Springfield.
Yeah.
But just if you're a top 20 team in Class 6, you're going to be good enough to make a run. So it's just the baseball is going to be really good all across the state. Heck, I think one of the best teams in the state last year was Liberty North. I think they only lost 3 or 4 games, and they got upset in districts and weren't able to make a run. But Liberty's just Liberty's obviously the defending state champ, and they're returning a bunch. So they're loaded and got to be one of the favorites going in to have a great season. Blue Springs South out of Kansas City is going to be pretty good as well. I think that was one maybe you didn't mention, but it's going to be really good baseball throughout. And just kind of talked about some of the arms that we have and the guys that are committed to play at the next level. There's a lot of guys that are going to go on and continue to play, and especially with a lot of high quality arms that are going to go to the next level and contribute pretty rapidly at the next level. So it's going to be exciting to hear high school baseball around the state of Missouri.
Yeah. Coach Canavan, your thoughts?
I'm just going to keep my head down, try to run a good practice day by day, and then when they say play ball, hopefully we're ready to go. Like he said, there's a lot of talent around, and I'm happy and excited to be able to participate and compete.
Piggyback what you said, which was, like last year, we put together a really nice season, and what we just kept focusing on day in and day out was we just want to be the best team on the field today. Like we don't ever have to be the best team in the state. You can't be the best team in the state. All you can do is show up at whatever ballpark you're at, whether it's Zumwalt West or Smet or wherever you show up, you just try to be the better team on the field that day. So that's kind of always been our focus is be the best team on the field that day, and then let the wins and losses take care of themselves, let the scoreboard take care of itself. And we even break it down with our guys and just talk about, hey, win this pitch. Win this pitch, now do it again. And okay, now let's win an at bat. Okay, let's go win an inning, and then just keep trying to stack up as many of those wins as we can, and then the score takes care of itself. And so that's I know that's what Coach Canavan's doing at the Smet is just like you said, keep your head down and go to work and play the game the right way. So that's what we're going to try to do at Zumwalt West day in and day out, inning in, inning out.
That's all you really can do, and I think that's important. As you're talking about those things, I heard every word you said, Coach. So I think it's really good. When you look at the state of the schools around, as we've talked about, so many good programs, so much good baseball here. I say good luck to both of you. I think it's going to be a fun season to watch. It's going to be a lot of, I think, really good baseball. And I always tell people, get your fans. If you're a fan of baseball, get yourself out to one of these ball games. You know where they're at. Get out there. Find a game to watch. Take your kids. I think I'd love to encourage. I'm sure you've got kids that are, in that 7th, 8th, 9th grade, or even 12, 13-year-olds, dads, take your kids to watch. I think it was something we were talking about in the GAC preview today. Take your kids out to watch. You're going to see some really good baseball players, how they handle themselves on the field. And I think it's a little closer to home with these high school players. Agreed?
Coach?
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah, it's, I think about, fortunately, I've been at Zumwalt West for lots of years now. I started in 1999 as assistant coach and been the head coach since 2010. And it's been really rewarding for me and fun just to watch these kids develop, from knowing that some of these guys have been camp rats and been just all in on Zumwalt West baseball since they were 6, 7, 8 years old. And when they were those young guys, they looked up to the high school guys at camp or at games and just idolized them. They were heroes, For a 7-8-year-old kid, the thought of being on that varsity field, playing for a conference championship, playing for a district title, those kind of things, those are just dreams. And it's really cool to be a part of that process of those kids growing up and maturing and learning all those things about life and about baseball and chasing that dream until we have that journey, and then they go on to chase the next one.
Yeah. And I'll just piggyback on what you both said. I think high school baseball in this area is really good, and it's just so much fun to watch, even as a spectator, because it's just a pure experience. It's guys playing with their buddies for their school, competing their tails off, just trying to win some hardware. They play, for the most part, they play the game the right way, and when they don't, they're just kids making mistakes, So they learn from that as well. But it's just so enjoyable to be able to watch and participate in high school athletics.
Gentlemen, it really is a pleasure talking to both of you. Coach Gough, this is our second year having you on the show. I appreciate it greatly. Coach Canavan, I know we had you on before in a different capacity. Appreciate you coming on. Hope to have you guys come back on the show. Love to have you anytime. Please reach out. Love talking baseball.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy it. Thanks so much for having us.
Coach Eric Gough, Fort Zumwalt West. Coach, I'll spit it out in a minute. Coach Tim Canavan, Smet High School. Gentlemen, good luck to you. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, hit that subscribe button, comment below. Give us everything you got. We appreciate it. Remember, all you pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and you hitters. And you know what's funny, guys? I got to say this. Whenever I say this to the young guys, I say, and all you hitters, keep hitting bombs. That's what I get. With the old guys, they all know, hit them where they ain't.
It's all about.
So it's always fun, right? It's always fun. We'll see you next time, folks.